Spark Writers. Today's writing tip is about starting wide with a scene and then moving inward. Think about the movies. Often they start with a wide angle shot, like for example the solar system. And then we get a little bit closer, maybe we see a rocket ship hurtling through the air. Then we get a little bit closer still. Then we see maybe a tight shot of the rocket. And it's only after that that we finally get to see inside and we see the astronauts and we're introduced to our characters, and that's when the action begins. Let's take Harry Potter, the first book or the first movie. First we see the street where the Dursleys live. Then we see Dumbledore and McGonagall. And then we see number 3 Privet Drive that they're looking at. And it's only after that that we understand who Harry is and we get to meet him in the context of that setting where he's leaving and going into the magical world. So giving context to your story through setting helps your readers visualize what's happening, where it's happening. It gives them time and place. In Pleading for Mercy, book 1 in my Magical Dressmaking Mystery Series, I begin with the big picture of the Cassidy women. So they're descendants of Butch Cassidy in my alternate history. So I start with placing Butch in Argentina, and he's making a wish in an Argentinian fountain, and that wish gives his descendants, the female descendants, charmed magical lives. It's only after I set that scene that I introduce Harlow, who is my protagonist. So I've got that scene set first to give context to who these people are. In Murder in Devil's Cove, my first book magic mystery, it's set in the Outer Banks. So I start wide, and here's the opening. The island of Devil's Cove lay between the mainland and the barrier islands of North Carolina's Outer Banks, smack in the middle of 4 ocean channels. Albemarle Sound was to the north. Roanoke Sound flowed to the east. Croatan Sound was on the west side of the island, and to the south was the inlet of Pamlico Sound. It was connected to the mainland with a single swing bridge. A ferry carted people in their cars back and forth. It wasn't the easiest island to get to, but it was perhaps the most special. Colorful beach houses overlooked the water. A protected cove was a favorite spot for kayaking and swimming. The quaint town welcomed tourists, but generations of families called Devil's Cove home. The island drew fishermen, treasure hunters who chartered boats to explore the graveyard of the Atlantic, and sun worshippers. And now, Pippin and Grey Hawthorne, siblings born 73 seconds apart, were back after being gone for 20 years. It's only after we get that big context of where Devil's Cove is that we see Pippin and Grey, Pippin the protagonist, Grey her twin brother, who have been gone for 20 years, and now they're staring at this decrepit house that they've inherited that belonged to their parents. And then there's this whole curse and this whole thing that takes place related to this house and to Devil's Cove itself. So my writing tip, or my challenge really for you this week, is to write an opening, to start wide with a bigger shot of your setting and then work inwards towards something more specific, a specific moment or the introduction of your character. You may or may not use this scene. That doesn't matter so much, but it's a really good exercise for you to get that setting in a wide angle shot and see what that feels like for you. So there you go. Write a wide angle scene, moving into a tight shot. Writing tip for today. Happy writing.